At first, the emptiness feels like a strange kind of freedom. You walk through streets without traffic, without noise, without anyone rushing past. You enter stores and take whatever you want: food, clothes, electronics. For a moment, it almost feels like a dream, like you are the ruler of a world that belongs only to you. But dreams never last, because when the sun sets and the city lights no longer shine, reality crushes down on you. The silence becomes unbearable. The loneliness grows heavy. You find yourself talking out loud, just to hear a voice, even if it's only your own. The world around you begins to decay. Food spoils. Power plants shut down. The internet disappears. The civilization that once made life so easy is collapsing before your eyes. And you realize you are not surviving in the world you knew. You are surviving in a graveyard. The search for life. Days begin to blur together. You wake up, not because an alarm tells you to, but because your body simply can't sleep anymore. The silence around you is deafening. A silence so deep that even your own breathing sounds unnaturally loud. You step outside, scanning the horizon, hoping, praying that today will be different. That today, maybe, you will find another living soul. You walk through empty streets, your footsteps echoing against the hollow walls of abandoned buildings. Every sound you make feels amplified, like the world is mocking you for still trying. You call out, "Hello, is anyone there?" But the only reply is the whisper of the wind. Sometimes you think you hear something in the distance, a faint shuffle, a voice, a movement. But when you run toward it, desperate, there is nothing, just shadows playing tricks on your mind. The stores you pass are still filled with reminders of the old world. Shelves lined with canned food, racks of clothing, toys left scattered in aisles where children once played. You pick up a photograph, left behind on the floor. A family smiling, frozen in time. You wonder what happened to them. Did they vanish suddenly, like everyone else? Or did they suffer? The questions eat at you, but the answers are gone forever. Sometimes you enter houses just to pretend for a while. You sit at a stranger's table, pour yourself a glass of water, and imagine that someone will walk through the door any second and tell you dinner is ready. But no one ever comes. The chairs remain empty. The silence grows heavier. As days stretch into weeks, the weight of loneliness starts to crush you. You find yourself speaking out loud, narrating your every action, just to hear a voice. "I'm opening the door now. I'm walking down the hall. I'm eating dinner." You laugh at yourself, but deep down you know the truth. You are afraid of forgetting what a human voice sounds like. Nights are the worst. When the sun sets and the city plunges into darkness, fear takes over. Without electricity, the streets are pitch black, and every shadow feels alive. You huddle close to a candle, its flickering flame your only companion. Sometimes you think you hear footsteps outside. Sometimes you are sure someone is watching you. But when you rush to check, there is nothing. Always nothing. Your mind begins to betray you. Dreams and reality blur together. You see faces in windows, hear whispers in alleys. You start to wonder if you are slowly losing your grip on sanity. What if you are not alone, but the others who remain are not human anymore? What if something else is out there, hiding, waiting? And then comes the hope, that dangerous, cruel thing. Every morning, you wake up with a spark of belief that today you will find someone, a survivor, a voice calling back. You explore new parts of the city, shouting until your throat burns. But there is never an answer, just silence. Days no longer feel like days. They are tests, each one pushing you closer to the edge of survival. At first, hunger wasn't a problem. The world was still full of food untouched, waiting on shelves. But soon you discovered the truth. Even cans don't last forever. Rust creeps in. Expired labels warn you of poison. Every meal becomes a gamble. Do you eat? Or do you risk your life for one more bite? Water becomes the true enemy. The taps went dry weeks ago. And now you wander the city carrying bottles, scavenging every drop you can find. Sometimes you discover half-empty ones in old fridges, or rainwater collected in broken bowls on rooftops. But each sip feels like a countdown. One day there will be no more, and you wonder what will come first. Will you find another survivor? Or will thirst finish you? The silence presses harder. You begin to notice how the world itself is rotting. Windows shatter from storms. Dust covers once bright streets. Vines crawl over walls, claiming the city as nature erases all traces of humanity. You realize you are not just surviving in an empty world, you are surviving in a world, slowly rejecting you. At night, the fear grows. Hunger you can fight. Thirst you can delay. But fear owns you. Every sound in the darkness feels alive. You hear doors creak in abandoned houses, footsteps on floors above you, whispers just outside your shelter. You tell yourself it's the wind or rats, or maybe your imagination. But deep inside, a darker thought lingers. What if it isn't? Your dreams offer no escape. When you close your eyes, you see faces, people you used to know. Friends, strangers, even crowds. They smile, they laugh, they speak. But when you reach for them, they vanish. You wake up with your heart racing, the echo of voices still ringing in your ears, and the crushing truth hits you. Those voices are gone forever. And yet, despite everything, hope never dies completely. It comes in cruel flashes, little sparks refusing to be extinguished. One morning, you see smoke far away on the horizon. Another time you hear a car engine in the distance. You run, you chase, you scream until your throat bleeds, but when you arrive, there is nothing. Just empty roads, empty skies, empty hope. The struggle isn't just about food or water anymore. It's about holding on to your mind. You write words on walls, carve notes into trees, speak to shadows, all to remind yourself that you are still here, that you still exist. Some days you wonder, if no one is left to witness your survival, does it even matter? If a human lives alone in the ruins of the world, is he still human or just another ghost haunting the earth? And still, every morning, you force yourself to rise. You search, you fight, you whisper to the silence, not today. I won't give up today, because somewhere, buried in the ruins, you believe someone else might be whispering the same words. And maybe, just maybe, the day will come when your voices finally meet. Until then, the silence continues. But remember this, the story is not over. The world may be broken, but every step forward writes a new chapter. If you want to walk deeper into the ruins with me, don't just watch, join. Subscribe now, because every subscriber becomes a survivor. And together, maybe we will find the ending this world is hiding.